I'm Roger, and we're back again.
Okay.
You're Diane.
I'm Diane.
And we're back again with another show. And we've had a lot of people come in the store and ask about shepherd hooks and how to put them up and what about the squirrels and can the squirrel climb this little thing? They surely can't get up that.
Oh, everybody thinks that if they buy a shepherd's hook, they don't need a baffle.
Yeah.
But unless you've got a retarded squirrel, I think you're going to need a baffle.
I'll tell you what, they can climb up this thing faster than whatever.
Yeah. They're entertaining, but most of us don't like to feed the squirrels, so we do have several baffles.
This is kind of an ideal way to set up a nice little shepherd hook if you have two hooks on it. And if you do have squirrel problems, you're going to have a torpedo, either a torpedo or a baffle. And these baffles come in different sizes. So, and you want to get a metal one that goes on here. The plastic ones, well, they'll work, but squirrels sometimes they'll munch them up too. Make sure that if you put this type of a baffle on there, that you buy a shepherd hook that comes apart. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it on. It has to be threaded on here.
We do have baffles that will go around
all the way around.
hooks.
These just wrap around. It can be any size and so on. And what's nice about these shepherd hooks is, in doing it this way, is that you can put a feeder on there and put multiple types of food in there, and also have a nice little finch feeder on.
So three different foods could go in this one, and your finch food could go in here, and you'd have one little spot of 8 different birds.
Ideal.
Great.
Now, if you have a real squirrel problem, you can get some of the feeders where they just drop down, and the squirrel gets on it and drops down, and the squirrel can't get to it.
You know what, Roger, I have to tell you, I read in a magazine this morning, in Birding Magazine, this particular feeder was voted number one for a new product.
That's right. And it has a cardinal ring on there, so if you do get some cardinals, at least they can get it. And these come in all different types of shapes and decorations. Beautiful.
And the purpose of the cage is to keep the squirrels out and your larger birds. And I don't think there's anybody around that is trying to feed grackles and crows.
But they're
so the cages really work.
They're going to come. A lot of different types of cages. Now, another way of feeding on a shepherd hook is to put a tray on there. And I would, if you're going to put a tray, I would put some sort of a little baffle on the top. Now, this is not going to keep the squirrel off, but of course the squirrel's got to come up from the bottom unless it can jump. But a nice little plastic baffle like this protects the seed somewhat from it. So
when placing your shepherd hooks in your yard, make sure they're not real close to the trees, because otherwise you get your squirrels leaping in from the branches, and your baffle down here doesn't do any good.
Doesn't do any good.
So it has to be away from the trees.
Now, if you would happen to have a, what do you call those little animals? They're not badgers, they're little something or other. Raccoons. If you've got the raccoons, you're going to have to get a big baffle like this, because that raccoon, it'll just shimmy right over the top of that torpedo.
So what kind of a hookup do we have over here with another?
Over here is a lot of times people just have a post, and this works really nice. So you got a nice little baffle on the bottom. You can have your suet feeder here. If you have a chance of the squirrel jumping from a tree or something, they're going to get on there. They're not even going to get to the feeder because it's all
with the size of that feeder hopper up there, that must be a fill once a month.
That could be filling about once, at least every other week, and so on.
Okay, good. And there are people that are looking for the larger feeder.
Now, wild bills. This is the wild bill one. And you know what that one does for squirrels. You could put this up anywhere, and the squirrels will have a real problem. I'm not going to grab a hold of this. You know, I did that last year. I grabbed a hold of it and got a nice big shock on it.
The company words this really well. It says this is a feeder to train your squirrels to stay away. Actually, if the squirrel touches, this isn't on, is it?
No.
Okay. If the squirrel touches any two parts of the metal, and notice I'm not going to touch because I don't really believe them, the squirrel will get a shock and will leave your feeder alone.
You know, the other feeder is the Yankee Flipper. Everybody knows about the Yankee Flipper, and that is an outstanding
entertainment.
Yeah, and then there's a dipper and the whipper and the flipper, and there's all kinds of them. So anyway, should I do it? I think this is what's going to happen when the squirrel touches it. Oh, this is the second time I did that.
Okay.
Goodbye. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.